planning to spend a life together. And part of that involved Noah being able to partake in his desires. And so, how they figured out that they would do that is they made plans to get married. They literally talked about where they would get married. They talked about when to get married. They talked about the fact that they wanted to rush so that they'd be able to move in together. And part of that involved them making the decision that they would not live in a city. Um, Sorry, I'm communicating with people. But that they would buy a prop piece of land that would have no housing on it and that would not be permitted for housing so that they could build a home there. And that if they built the home there, they would build it without the government ever knowing about it. They went into this in detail. And their plan was they talked about how she could be pregnant and maintain the child, even though the child would be incredibly, incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry. I'm blanking on the word. They were trying to figure out how it is they'd be able to have a child and give birth off grid without endangering the child from a medical standpoint. So they talked about how is it they're able to ensure that the pregnancy goes without any issues, how it is they would be able to give birth at home without involving anybody, how it is they would be able to get medical supplies as they may need it, what they would do if there was an emergency. They were planning this, actively planning it. And what they wanted to do was they wanted to use that baby to fulfill more so Ezra's desires. Ezra confessed to her that he had been doing things to treat other children, but that his preference is babies, specifically under two. Guys, I'm sorry. It is actually genuinely kind of hard to like talk about this, so I know I'm like stuttering and stuff, but they would refer Ezra or slash Noah here. Like I'm looking at the screen messages right now, and what he's saying is I can't wait to fill you up so that you give me babies. I want to F you so hard and make little RAPE toys with you. I want to imagine them tasting mommy's PUSSY and watching doggy wrestle with mommy for the little RAPE toys. If our little RAPE toys are HORNY and brave enough, we can let them be RAPED'd by our dog. What would you think if I made that happen? And this is a single screenshot that I just read about a quarter of it. There are 400 screenshots of extremely similar content, 400 screenshots. And he would create stories. He had so many stories, meaning actual stories that he wrote about doing this sort of activity. So he didn't just make plans, he didn't just do it in real life. He was so consumed with it that he made stories on the side and made AI stuff as well on the side. I'm going through other screenshots here. Odin, you can jump in.
Yeah, I I am not interested in protecting the woman in this case. To be clear, this isn't about her right now so much as it. I don't know that I can stress enough that this was reciprocal between them, though. There was, like, it wasn't just him writing stories to her. She would suggest searches to him that were
100%.
vile.
100%.
And there's hours of this fucking shit. Like she would write stories and send it to him. Like, I don't. It's genuinely disgusting. And what kills me is that her father knows, and his father knows. And
And
I
the
kind of wonder what. Sorry, go ahead.
no, 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 go ahead.
It makes me wonder, like, how many goddamn times, or sorry, how many friggin' times in these lives do you hear people say, like, oh, under the jail or in the street or like in the back, right? Like, just put them put them underground, right? And then when it's someone they know, when it's their kid, when it's someone that they care about, right? They look past it, they defend it, and they literally shelter and harbor these fucking people. And what Irish read is literally less than half of one of these screenshots. It's less than half. There are hundreds of them. There are hours of footage that the Calgary police have and did nothing with, to our knowledge.
And the other part of the screenshot, I would say, that I don't have to go into, but I'll just summarize, is after talking about that and them stating that they would name their child CUM Bucket, they then start talking about what do we do when they age out, and they start talking about whether it would be legal to and practical to sell. And they found that there was an exception in one state where there's no law against selling a baby. And so one of them says, it's not illegal to sell our baby in this state. And then they say, we would have to hide the pregnancy and birth really well, but babies don't even sell for much. And then they start saying how much they go for. And they started looking through price lists on the dark web. And they were looking at which country pays more. And then they included an actual price list that shows how much they go for in China, Indonesia, Ghana, India, Mali, Thailand, UK, Romania, Kenya, in order to figure out whether or not it would be profitable for them to have more than one. And so, I mean, I think that's, I think you guys know that I normally do like a lot of receipts. I think you guys know I normally do a lot of like screenshots and all that. And in this specific case, I think I was prepared to do it. But honestly, once I realized that the police report or the follow on email kind of summarizes it, and I figured you guys would trust that what I'm representing to the police is what we provided to them, that should be sufficient. But I will say that, again, like I've reported dozens of these people at this point. And I do think it's because this was the first time I have been able to read what they want to do, that it just broke me. That's why I'm not doing this moving forward. I'm not doing call out lives anymore for anyone who is not someone I've already addressed. And what I would ask here is this. Let me just show you this. Take a screenshot of this, please. Take that screenshot and call the Calgary police or send an email give them the event number. This was 2 days ago, so the date of the report is November 5th. Give the name of the person and ask them what the hell happened. How does a case where he admitted, Mr. Rogers admitted to schmexually assaulting no less than 3 minors, and where there's hard evidence of all this other stuff, how did a case like this get no attention? And I can tell you right now, based upon how many times I called them, I know for a fact they did not get a warrant in the first 2 months. Because I know that come Christmas, they still didn't have a warrant. Because I called them and I said, it's Christmas, bro. Noah's going to be around children at Christmas. How are you not allowing me to share this information at this point? And they said that they're still waiting on it, and sharing any information at this point could do more harm than good. It's been 6 months now. And so I don't know how I could do more harm at this point after giving the police everything they could possibly want and waiting 6 months. And this is why, like, I would say I've definitely learned firsthand that, like, reporting grapes to the cops, how much of a fool's errand that almost is. I've never been in a situation where I've had my hands tied like this, where I had to follow up with the cops so frequently, that to learn just how absolutely bored they seem when being presented with descriptions of these type of activities. And it is not because they encounter them every day. I know it's not that, because the person who I reported this to, this Officer Peck, who, by the way, is a prick. There's no question in my mind that if you call up Officer Peck right now, he will describe me as an annoyance. He will describe me as harassing him. But I don't understand. I know that he had almost no experience with cases like this. And yet he also showed absolutely no interest, no sort of desire to go out of his way to do anything. I would call, in those first couple of weeks, I was calling every couple of days, asking him, did you get the warrant? Did you get the warrant? Did you get the warrant? It took 2 weeks before he sent it to the right goddamn department. There was like a special department they had to get it to. And so I've never asked for help with this, I think, ever. Take that screenshot and help me. Get the Calgary cops to give two shits about this.
I think some of the evidence that's in there, right? Like she
They've
provided us, yeah. There's literal hyperlinks that he provided her in order so that they could use a third-party screen sharing site, right? They have those links. They have that data. There's metadata on those sites. I don't care if you're no longer using them, they can still pull information from that. The amount of evidence that they have access to is astronomical, and they haven't done a friggin' thing. Nothing. They don't care, which is insane.
I would say that, like, that to me was like the scary thing as well, is that we know for a fact that he admitted to her that he had done this to 3 children already. But what we also know is the way that he distributed the CP showed that he had done this before without question in my mind. He had a setup. He had 2 laptops. He had a personal, and he had his quote-unquote dark web. And he had a whole system, which is what Odin was alluding to, is he was smart. He didn't send it. Now, he was smart and he was dumb, because people think that distributing requires sending it by clicking send. A screen share is the same thing as distributing it. But he was smart that it wouldn't leave a record. And so he would do a screen sharing device. And what he didn't think about was that the text messages showed them talking about, because that was actually one of the more disgusting parts of it, was the evidence that I presented to Calgary, because there was no images attached to this. Some of the evidence that was provided,
It's them graphically describing what they're looking at and how it makes them feel and what they want to do to the toddlers that they are looking at.
and that's on multiple occasions where they are graphically describing what they're seeing, and it's preceded by him sharing that screen share link and them being giddy, getting off on what it is they're reading each time, what it is they're seeing each time, describing it. And the reason why they were doing that was because he was at work, so he wasn't able to talk. So what he would do is he would do a screen share with the audio off, and he would just talk via the DMs, and that's how they would communicate. And it's due to the fact that he wasn't able to play the audio always because he was at work. That's why he made audio recordings for her. And that is what he did send, was audio recordings of a 2-year-old being raped repeatedly by a group of men, while the group of men are taking turns and the toddler is crying the entire time. And it's just the audio recording of it. And that is the only record of him sending anything of that type of nature. But given the fact that he very clearly described what they're looking at, this should be a slam dunk for officers. This should be a slam dunk. Like, I don't think I've had this much evidence on someone at all. And to this date, I don't think they've even gotten a fucking warrant for this guy.
Guys, remember in the comments here, if you need to take a break, take a break. You don't have to continue to stay here. If you need to take a breather, please do so. That also goes for you, Irish, and you, Odin, as well. You guys, if you need a moment, take a moment. We will decompress for 2 minutes and then we'll get back to it. But this is some heavy stuff. So if you need to take a moment, it is okay to do so. We're all right in doing that. We can bring up something else for the next 2 minutes and then we can get back into it so everyone can decompress. We have to remember that this is not just something that we're just it is not, especially considering that Irish and Odin have been in the thick of it. You have to understand that how this is going to affect this is going to affect anybody and everyone. If you're in the requests, I'm not bringing anybody else up right now, so you can jump out of the requests. But keep in mind that this is heavy stuff. So we need to keep in mind that when we have these kinds of conversations, and this is why Irish has stated that he is no longer doing this, because it is heavy. This is going to weigh on somebody. This is not something he's going to be able to just wipe his hands clean off at the end of this. This is something that's going to be around for a while. So we have to remember, we have to keep in mind, if you can't bear this, or if you have to take a moment, you can jump out for a little bit. You can jump out and then come back in. It's completely understandable.
I think on top of the fact that, like, just finding out how many people just really did not give a shit about this, and talking specifically about, like, the cops involved and his parents and her parents, is like, people like to call this drama. Before I got to NOAA, one of my goals for last year, was I did not want to have to be on another phone call with the cops. I did not want to be listed or named on another police report. I did not want to talk to police. I didn't want to have to, like, I don't know. Irish does it more than I do. I can only imagine how he feels. It's exhausting. Like, I use burner numbers just so I don't have to take return phone calls from people that have reported me just out of anger, right? It's nonstop and it's insane. And all of these people seem to come from the same kinds of groups. It just keeps happening. I don't want to tell people, right? Like, you can't hold debate spaces, you can't hold filbro spaces, right? But holy shit, there comes a point when it's just like, this is the fifth predator, this is the fifth grapist, this is another literal child predator, or P3DO. I don't know the correct words to use on TikTok anymore because I don't know if people know. I haven't really gone live since November. This shit, I couldn't function for like 2 months after this. It affected my job and a lot of other things. It just, stop catering to these kinds of people. You don't even know that you're doing it, but when you are playing devil's advocate so often, he is eventually going to think that you're actually his friend. He is going to feel safe there. And these people do. It doesn't surprise me anymore when they're outed within these own groups. And it's the way that some of these groups just like Tainted, for example, right? Everything that was going on with Tainted. And I don't remember how much people remember about that. Just debating that it's okay for people like him, adults like Noah, to go after people as soon as they hit like puberty. And people entertain those, and they're just being edgy. They're just talking about things. They're just, being hypothetical, right? Or reductios, or whatever the popular thing is to say now, right? It's real to these people. They're not taking that position to be philosophical and cool. They're taking that position because they have a vested interest in defending what they do. I do not know how to stress that to people enough. When someone is defending something, especially stuff like this, you have to understand there's a reason that they're doing it. And I really wish more people would start asking themselves, why is someone so interested on unaliving on a hill that involves putting children in danger, that involves letting rapists walk, that involves letting people get away with those crimes in general, or just not doing anything? And I don't understand it anymore, because how many of these people do we have to find in these spaces before the people that run these kinds of spaces start going, hey, this guy's a problem? And they'll all tell you, right? They'll all say, no, we protect children, we protect kids, we don't accept this kind of behavior here, right? But then here's another one. And it's because when these people make these arguments, it's like, oh no, this, it's just a reductio. It's a hypothetical. I'm just engaging. I'm just trying to have an argument. I'm just talking, man. And then they accept that. And at some point, you guys have they've got to stop. I'm just asking that people start thinking critically and stop entertaining certain things. There are certain topics that I will not platform or talk about because there is no utility in spreading it. There is no utility in talking about it, because if it's something that we all agree is wrong, why are we trying to entertain a fucking reality where it's not? I don't understand that. And when you do that, you immediately have made yourself a safe space for people that want it to be okay. Like, just please, for the love of God, start checking yourselves. I'm gonna get really angry and start yelling and cursing, but just I genuinely don't understand it anymore. Like,
Ernesto,
sorry,
can
go
you
ahead,
big
Chris.
screen? No, no, no. You keep talking. Ernesto, can you big screen yourself? To anyone in here who knows Marcel, can you please tell Marcel there's 6 minutes left? So he needs to join in 6 minutes, and I would really appreciate if he joined. But whoever has access to Marcel, can you just call him and tell him he's got exactly 6 minutes left? Sorry, go ahead.
You're good. I just wanted to clarify because Wildflower, I know that you're in some of these Philbro spaces. I know that you know Ezra or Noah Rogers. I'm sure you know the person that gave me the information initially. Um, I think it's very important that we clarify. Neither I nor Irish are in truth accusing this person. This person has admitted it. It's not an accusation. They have admitted it. They have admitted it repeatedly. There are screenshots. There's some of the screenshots that we didn't read are him recounting what he did. Like, if I'm not mistaken, on a boat with someone. Like, and them getting off talking about that. These aren't accusations. This is facts. This is an admission from him. And them literally getting off on it. And I I'm just thinking about some of the things that this woman told him. And it's like actively wishing that she could have given him the person that he was admitting having done stuff to on a boat. Like, and and one of the other craziest things about this to me, this woman has clearly implicated herself, right? I think everybody, no one in here, I don't think is dumb enough to have read and seen what we were talking about and not think that this woman has implicated herself. I've gotten dozens of DMs sitting on this live from people asking who she is. The fact that she was so willing to implicate herself, the level of, I don't know that I want to call it guilt or just, I'm still honestly unclear on some of the motivations behind this, because some of this stuff, like, we had to look up if like certain acts with animals were illegal in certain parts of the country in order to report this. Like, but she willingly gave us this information. She had come to other people to talk about this, to give them this information. And no one took the fucking time to just look at it because they were so interested in defending Ezra. They were so interested in it not being Noah, right? Because we don't want to accept, like, hey, maybe we're friends with a bunch of really bad fucking people, because what does that say about us? All they had to do was pay a little bit of fucking attention. If they had given this person 10 fucking minutes of time, that's all it would have taken, and they didn't do that. And that's just,
I disagree with your narrative that people were scared of Ezra personally. I put it down to the fact that the truth is most people just don't care. I really think most people just don't care. They hear stuff and they're just not, they don't care if the person who they're talking to, who they're friends with, are doing harmful stuff. They don't care if the people they panel with or platform is doing bad stuff. They don't care if the person in their Discord server is doing bad stuff, so long as it doesn't fall on them. And that's what I feel like I try to do, what Odin tries to do, what a lot of people try to do is make it difficult for these people to platform people like this and just say it's not my responsibility. Because it is your responsibility. When you've been warned about someone and you keep platforming them, it is your responsibility. Because as much as Odin was referring to people in the comments, I don't give a flying fuck if you identify as a good person. If you are friends with Ezra, like really think about it. If you weren't actively engaged with him to try to get him psychological help, if you weren't actively engaged in trying to figure out was there something wrong with this kid, there's something likely wrong with you for not caring. Now, I know people who did know Ezra, but they identified he was a problem and they were trying to help him and they didn't know he would be engaged in this sort of activity, but they were able to see he was a problem. If you were around Ezra and you didn't know he was a problem, you're likely a problem. Like, that's as simple as I can put it. And the people in these spaces, I don't know if they lack judgment, but honestly, I think it's that they lack empathy and they just don't care. Personally, like, who would be scared of this person? Like, he was going around threatening to schmucks everyone. He was going around bragging about having hacking capabilities. And he did have some. Obviously, he was able to access the dark web. But, like, I don't think anyone was scared of this guy. I think people didn't care.
No, I think I was trying to give maybe an out to people. And to be clear, right? Not everybody that I have mentioned knew what Noah was doing, right? But Ezra did debate in their spaces. Ezra's an anti Semite. Ezra's a P3DO. Ezra's a misogynist. Ezra is a Noah Rogers is an abhorrent, disgusting individual. One of the first things that he told me when I met him on Go On's Live was that Schmittler had done nothing wrong and that, like, I deserved to be unalived because I looked phenotypical Jewish or something like that. And people are like, oh, let's keep this guy around in our debate spaces. And granted, I think he did get kicked out of some, but none of the reasons that I've gotten for why he got kicked out of spaces had anything to do with this guy's an abhorrent human being. It was in self-interest. It was because they didn't want to be schmoxed. It was because they didn't want to have their information released. It wasn't because he was a bad person. It was because they were afraid that, like, I don't know, maybe he would cause problems for them. This guy's a pathetic fucking worm.
I see. I think that everyone who is around Ezra is a pathetic fucking worm. This guy hurts kids. And, like, I don't want to call this guy a worm. I don't want to call him pathetic. This guy hurts kids. And, like, I know, Odin, you're not, like, trying to, like, say it the way you're saying it. But this is my point, is I just feel like everyone who's around these people just keep on playing down that people like this, they're monsters. Noah doesn't look like a monster, right? He doesn't look like someone who could, like, hurt someone. He doesn't look like someone who'd be a physical threat. But that doesn't mean that he's not. Because, like, it's not like the physicality that makes someone dangerous. It's what they're willing to do that makes someone dangerous. And what this guy was willing to do is just abhorrent. We will, just so you guys know, we're waiting on Marcel, but I don't think he's going to be showing, so we may move on without him. And we will be talking about Bobby because there is some important updates on Bobby that will be eye-opening for people. So just so you guys know, we will probably flip to that in the next few minutes. We've tried to be as patient as possible, but really there's no point in being able to continue waiting if he's not going to be showing. I do want to say though, like when Odin was talking about like I don't think the people who are in these spaces are necessarily bad people. I don't know how to keep on emphasizing so much. Why do we keep finding the same people in the same goddamn spaces over and over and over and over again? Like why? Like why is it we keep finding them? They're all in the same discords. They're all in the same discords. And I don't understand why people aren't seeing that sort of connection. And in fact, let me show you something on that note. Hold on one second.
Guys, I appreciate you guys have us up at 43,000 likes. Let's keep it going to protect the live. If you guys continue to tap that screen and get the live, keep the live protected, I really, really appreciate it.
Odin, do you have the DM? Remember the screenshots I showed you of like who he's associating with? Hey, Wildflower, one more comment by you and you're getting muted. Can you please stop? We're up here trying to talk about Noah. If you want the attention on you and the people who you've hung out with and the people you've normalized, we can also do that. But can you please let the people who are up here focus on what it is we're doing, please? Fuck's sake. So Odin's just going to pull up just a couple of screenshots. And for anyone who... Okay, Wildflower, you're so fucking annoying. You're muted. Go away. Fucking loser. If there's anyone who knows the spaces and don't lie about it and don't exaggerate it and don't guess, but if you remember spaces and people that Ezra hung out with, name them right now. Call them out. Name them in the comments. Ezra was friends with. Noah was friends with. Because I'm having a hard time understanding why is it I was able to see straight away this guy was a problem, but everyone else seems to be like, oh, I didn't know. Can you big screen Odin? And I will say again, there are people who are friends with Noah who I know were trying to help because they saw that he had problems and they saw it more as psychological issues and or schmuicidal ideation. And those people are really empathetic, and that's great. They're not the problem. They saw the problem. They didn't see that he was dangerous, but they saw he was a problem. So there are people who could associate with these people who try to get help. But the vast majority of these people just don't care. Do you want to show up the DM? Oh, Illust. So again, it's not surprising that Noah and Illust were friendly. Like that's not surprising. No problem, Sam.
Sorry, I don't know if I have the DM that you're talking about.
Oh, let me grab it. Hang on. And guys, I don't know. Isn't this a Philbra group?
Yeah. When you see people who like anybody that would, I don't understand engaging in that kind of conversation, those kinds of rhetorics. I do not see the utility unless you are just blatantly trying to platform that kind of shit.
Just sent you the DM. And so I guess the point is that these people all rock in circles. And I don't understand why people don't care about it. Because, like, the number of grapists, not grapey men, but grapists that have been identified in these spaces is crazy. And Ezra was, no surprise, very good friends with Lucario. You all know that I don't fuck with Lucario because of the fact that he's a kid. And I don't know why everyone else seems to be like, you know what? He might be a kid, but we don't care, so I'm going to fuck with Lucario. I don't understand you people who do that. It's weird. It's weird. It's
They shared
genuinely
an
weird to
account.
me.
Ezra or Noah and Lucario shared an account. I'd have to go through the video, and I really don't want to right now. Like, there was a fight between them and the individual that gave us this information because I believe Lucario was saying things to her from Ezra's account and didn't realize that she was talking to Lucario at first. Like, like, I guarantee you Lucario is going to be like, oh, I don't fuck with Ezra. They shared a fucking account. They shared an account. I'm going to say this too before we wrap this up, Irish. This is probably also my last call out live because of everything that I've got going on. I can't do another one of these either. But, like, I'm in a lot of spaces that don't make sense for me to be in. I just want people to really understand that, like, there's more of these people. They're all in the same kinds of fucking groups. They are. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, I need people, especially the people that are in these Philbro spaces that say they care, to start paying attention. Like, please. I don't know how to ask that anymore. Like, just please start paying attention to the people that you keep in your spaces because they make for good op or because they have edgy takes and they get viewers. There are things in life that are more important than the 30 cents you made off your fucking live. I'm sorry, but, like, just start fucking paying attention.
All right, if there's nothing else to say on your side, I can move on to the Bobby thing.
Yeah, I'm good. I have a physics paper I have to write.
Again, if you're in the request, we're not bringing people up to have a conversation about this. This is not the space to sit there and have an open conversation. If you agree or disagree, if you're in the space, accidentally, you can just you can remove yourself.
I really should have changed my profile picture for this, not gonna lie.
All right, then Odin, we're gonna drop you on down. Ernesto, you can choose either of those two, but can you make it big screen, and then you and I will do a split screen. And to everyone in the comments who's saying what age Lucario is, none of you have seen his ID. Or almost none of you have seen his ID. You know that he has lied multiple times about his age. And now the person who's lied about his age, who's now saying, trust me, bro, you're all like, that makes sense. You are the problem. You're the problem. If you can put up that other one, the other one, not that one. Nope. Ernesto, nope. Ernesto, look in the group chat. So now what we're going to move on to is Bobby. For the quick summary of Bobby, I think you all know that Bobby G0313 has been on this app and has been tormenting women, specifically victims of SA, and stating that he would be going around and finding their rapists and reporting them to the police against their consent. He's been threatening women. He's been schmoxing women. Bobby is a problem. Actually, Ernesto, hold on one second. Hold on one.
Okay, got it.
Okay, just use the Bobby one.
Yep.
And let me drop and refresh.
Okay.
Okay, put up the Bobby one, and then I'll jump into Bobby.
Okay, putting it up now.
Now, because I go after what I would term bad people, bad, dangerous people, as a result of me going after them, it puts a target on my back. And the bad people that I call out, because they don't have truth on their side, their only option is to discredit me. And by discrediting me, they hope that what I share about them, nobody's going to pay attention to. Actually, Ernesto, can you mute? There's a lot of background noise.
Yep.
And so for people in my community for the past 2.5 years, they know the same MO every single time. Every single time I call about a bad person, what ends up happening is that bad person joins the gang of people who want to take me down. And what they end up doing is they end up, when I go take down the next bad guy, they go run to the next bad guy to help the next bad guy discredit me. And essentially what ends up happening is this gang of misfits who want to take me down keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And what they try to do is they all team up. And they all team up to take me down so that whatever it is I've said about them in the past doesn't have any credibility. Well, no, Eamon just said in the comments it never works. It has worked. Right now, Eamon, it is working. I'm tapping out of this because I can't take it anymore. I just can't. So it has worked. I'll admit it. It has worked. Because the amount of shit that I have to go through when I call out each of these people is fucking exhausting every time. And it is incredibly lonely work. And what I would say that I sort of want to point out here is these band of haters are not only the ones who I have called out, but it's people who preemptively want to destroy me because they're scared of me. Now, you can dislike me. You can consider me someone who's an asshole. That's all fine and dandy. But I have noticed a trend that people who fear me and the people who try to preemptively destroy me are always the ones who've got something to hide. And so the people who gang up to take me down are the ones who I've called out, or the people who fear me calling them out in the future. And what they do is they equip my quote-unquote haters like Bobby with misinformation or clips that they can use to spin narratives. And what those narratives often look like is this. This is Bobby G on his Blue Sky account. And this is a live with Echo that took place a few weeks ago. And you'll notice up there is a guy called Priestley Sage 666, also known as Marcel. Priestley Sage 666 went on that live and tried to confront Echo for having CP. And what Priestley Sage was referring to was the fact that Echo and I work with authorities to get P. Tritios arrested and off the app. And I have to tell you, as much as I ignore it, it is so disillusioning how the fact that we work to get these P. Tritios is then used in order to suggest we're the problem. It's infuriating. And Priestley Sage went on Echo's Live in order to try to slander Echo for being one of the people who has helped me report these P. Tritios. And Bobby then took the fact that I report P. Tritios, and I literally showed you the police report for this person, in order to suggest that I myself am a P. Tritio. Well, what I found out was that for the past few weeks, looky what I have here. What I'm going to show you right now are DMs between Bobby and Marcel, where they have been plotting to schmox me and to take me down off this app. In these DMs, you'll see that they clearly have been talking on other platforms because Bobby G is introducing himself. Bobby G is not asking, who are you? Bobby G is not saying, hey, what's going on? Bobby G is not saying, what have you got? Bobby G is saying, give me the screenshot that we talked about. Oh, Marcel, you didn't think I'd get access to these DMs? Bobby, you didn't think I'd get access to these DMs? Do you not fucking know me at this point, you morons? You morons. These are Bobby G, 0 Tree, 1 Tree's private DMs with Marcel, where Marcel is trying to equip Bobby with material to take me down, as well as trying to schmox me, providing information about what they believe my legal name is, my phone number is, my address is, who my family are. Then they're talking about how to frame me for CP, where Bobby is talking about the menu. Because what they were talking about, Bobby has been accusing me of CP. What Bobby's really referring to is the fact that we had a menu that had been obtained from a PDF that we turned over to the authorities that did not have CP on it. It was a menu text. Bobby knows this, but Bobby has been going around saying that I have CP, even though he's keenly aware that, as Bobby says, this menu. Bobby G asks, where was the menu shared again? Marcel gives all the information. Bobby says, interesting, okay, thanks. If you find anything else, let me know. Priestley Sage responds, I will. Enemy of my enemy, right? Not to mention, I kind of went up and defended you, so they definitely put me in your boat. Enemy of my enemy? Marcel to me is just one of a plethora of losers on this app. He wasn't my enemy. He's a nobody in my head. Bobby then shares that he's found me on YouTube, that he has my bar number and my business location. Marcel says, I'm not after Irish's job. Irish's reputation is way more valuable. Bobby G says, talk soon. Bobby thanks Marcel for more information that he provides. Bobby then says, look at my blue sky. I posted some trends that they made. They share more information in order to try to build a case against me. Then today or yesterday, I messaged Marcel because Marcel is a moron and I knew what Marcel was doing. And so I messaged Marcel, and what I said to Marcel was this: Marcel, someone in my server saw that you and those closest to you were in Bobby G's live yesterday supporting him. And since then, I looked over the recording from my live, and it seems clear to me that you were in direct personal contact with Bobby, e.g. DMs, and that Bobby is talking to you, and that you are supporting him. I would appreciate a simple yes or no response to the following question, Marcel. Is what I said above accurate? I really don't want a long response or explanation. I really would just appreciate a simple yes or no. You can explain more in depth later, but I want to be blunt. So please, yes or no is what I want. Now, I sent this to Marcel knowing that he would send it to Bobby, so I could show that they are in direct communication to the point that they're sharing messages when I'm in contact with either of them. Bobby G responds, Irish thinks he's some sort of authority. Marcel responds, bro, he down bad. I got a violation warning. I'll drop, I'll come back.
So I'm not sure why this stuff is continuously being reported. I don't understand why you would assume that this information is false. I don't know what he was reported. He was flagged for. I know
why. It's Marcel.
Yeah.
It's Marcel's group. And it's crazy to me that Marcel's group likes to... by the way, Marcel's group is called something called Liberal Trash, is what they call themselves. And they consider themselves a band of misfits who go after bad people on the app. But they're really, I don't know, just a bunch of fucking weirdos. So, the next thing that ends up happening is, Bobby says, I found Mac's Facebook. Mac has threatened me, so now I have her complete information. Thanks, Bobby, for putting that in writing. Much obliged. Marcel responds, hey, whatever you choose to do, I support you. Just be prepared for a lot of attention. Bobby responds, they're already trying to as a mob. Loads of messages. I'm just showing like the messages back and forth. These guys have been coordinating for weeks to try to take me down. Marcel then notifies Bobby about the live that we were planning today. Bobby says, what profile is this on? And in response, Bobby and Marcel decide to try to dox me. And what that is right there is Marcel posting the photograph of someone that he thinks I am. And then he says, I hope that helped. I hope that I helped a little, and I'll just add his name. I hope that I helped a little, Bobby. I'm going to try to get some rest. You should too, man. Tomorrow's going to be a very long day. I could feel it. Now, Ernesto, can you please put up the Marcel backdrop? Why is Bobby G 0313 working with a P-Treadio like Marcel? Because to everyone who is friends with Marcel, let me name you. Leah, Witchy, Rue, Damon. Are you all aware that Marcel is a P-Treadio? Are you? Oh, did you not know that? Is this new news to you? I didn't know it either, boys and girls. I found out 3 days ago that Marcel was trying to take me down. I found out 3 days ago that Marcel was helping Bobby. I found out 3 days ago that Marcel has been like worried about me for 6 months. I didn't get upset about it. I got curious. Why would Marcel want to take me down? I didn't do anything to Marcel. And it took me 3 days, bro, to find out that you are into exclusively young girls aged 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now, I don't expect you to just simply trust me. So let's go to her private DMs of his partner. This is Marcel's partner. Marcel's partner reaches out to someone and says, "We have to talk privately. Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm okay, but this is something kind of bad. And you can't tell anyone, not even Marcel. I found something." "Okay, what is it?" Raina, who is oh, by the way, Echo said don't go after Raina. Oh, feel free to go after Raina. She cooperated and she gave information. She gave everything I needed, but only after being pushed because she didn't want to call out her Petritio boyfriend. So thank you, Raina, for providing all the information.
Oh, I think he said don't forget Raina.
Oh, okay, good. So here's Raina, and this was 6 weeks ago. Raina sends a Google search results where she has access to Marcel's Google account. She has access to a lot of his stuff. And she noticed that he had been Googling up girls aged 13 to 16 and that he was searching, the specific search term he was looking for was the term jailbait. He was looking for children aged 13 to 16. She then goes on to say, "I didn't mean to snoop, but I came across it by accident. I forgot I had his Google signed in on my old phone. Please tell me this is not as bad as I'm assuming. I've thrown up about 4 times already." Then she says, "This was just Google search, bro. And the other night after his live, I made a joke about jailbait and he went, no, that would get someone in big trouble." Then she says, the friend she's messaging said, "Did he search that to show you what jailbait was?" She says, "No, he searched it days before I mentioned the term. We've never even spoken about jailbait ever. The friend says, "Then yeah, I'm legit concerned because the pics he clicked on look young." Raina, Marcel's long-term partner living with him, says, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm losing my mind. I feel like I'm in a permanent state of derealization." The friend says, "But that first photo, she looks 13 at best." I'll say that again. "But that first photo, she looks 13 at best." Raina, who's been dating Marcel and living with Marcel, confirms, same, yeah. I'm not showing the photos of these girls, but they were no older than 13 and in a state of undress. The friend then said, "How did Marcel explain the word jailbait?" And then I'll give my explanation of what it is. And Raina says that Marcel has told her he explained it as actual underage girls, 14, 15, and 16. Then said, "I even said I thought you were into that stuff," and he said, "God, no." Do you see that? Raina, is saying, Raina, even said to Marcel, "I thought you, Marcel, were into jailbait stuff." Why would Raina think that? And why would you stay with someone who you think that's the case for? Raina goes then and says, "Yeah, I deleted it from his search history, but I've been checking it very frequently. I can live with the jailbait, man, to be honest." And she did. She's known about him being a Petritio for 6 weeks. No, 2.5 months. 2.5 months. She's known it. So when she says, "I can live with the jailbait," she means it. But then she said, what about the WhatsApp? Because you want to know what she was upset about? She wasn't upset that Marcel was a Petritio. She was upset that he was being a Petritio on WhatsApp, talking directly with the girls. She was upset, not that he may be interested in children, but that he's cheating on her, bro. The friend responds saying, if you look again, don't delete it. By the way, this friend, I'm 2 minutes away from outing this person. But I will give them credit for saying don't delete it. Raina then says, true, I just don't want it to signal a red flag for his device. Stupid move. The friend then says, no, I understand. Raina says, but I instinctively went to protection first. I instinctively went to protect my Petritio boyfriend and live-in partner who has a child. Marcel has a child. The friend says, I wasn't sure if deleting it would make it more or less noticeable. Raina says, I can see all his Google shit. I wish I could get into his Telegram, but some of his passwords on his Google won't show. Now, I want everyone to remember that part. So while I send myself something, I want everyone in here right now to type the word Telegram, because I want you to ingrain the word Telegram into your heads. Everyone write the word Telegram right now in the chat.
And while you're doing that, thank you very much for keeping these likes going. We're at 82,000 right now. Let's get it up to 100K. Protect the live. Protect the live. Thank you very much for achieving the gift goals. Let's not punch those roses all the way through immediately. Let's slowly roll them in to protect the live. So slowly rolling them in is going to help protect this live. But also liking it. If you can, just share it a few times for some people while we keep going with this. Remember to type Telegram in the comments there. Just keep typing Telegram. You want to have that ingrained. Telegram. Just keep going. Thank you very much for getting the live up there. Let's protect it, because we know that people do not want this information out there, but it needs to be out there. So protect this live by continuously tapping that live, working on that gift goal slowly. I'm not here for the gifts, but this protects the live. Please, this definitely protects the live. That's why the gift goal is just roses. It's not about money. It's not about any of that. We just want to get the live, keep the live going. I did see a couple comments and messages that the live was glitching. Can people just confirm that it's not glitching? Just give me a not glitch, no glitch in the comments, or glitch. Just let me know if it is glitching or not glitching, with a no glitch or a glitch. Okay, perfect. No glitch. Perfect. That's what I needed. Just to make sure no glitch. Perfect.
Sorry about that. So what she says again is, I can see his Google shit. I just wish I could see his Telegram. Then she says, I don't need to get sick again. The friend says, what's concerning me is that most of the photos he clicked on, searching that term can be okay or very bad. And Raina says, I guarantee he screenshot them and put them in his corn Discord. This is Raina stating, I guarantee he screenshot the images of the 13-year-old children and put them in his corn Discord. That is his partner saying that. I guarantee he screenshot the children and put them in his corn Discord. I had to tell somebody I've been going insane. The friend says, and what's going on with WhatsApp? Raina says, I don't know who's on there. I can't see. Telegram 2. And Raina again says, Telegram 2, he does both. The friend says, wait, Marcel has a corn Discord? I don't know, something seems weird. Raina says, yeah, dude, I'm telling you. Now, do you get why I was doing what I was doing? The friend says, I know he dates young sometimes, but those girls looked young. Raina says, yeah. Again says, I know he dates young sometimes, but those girls looked young. Raina says, yeah. And then Raina says, like the WhatsApp F's with me. Like I'm not going to jump to conclusions, but it's sketchy behavior deleting the app and then re-downloading it to sign in. Because Marcel keeps on deleting his WhatsApp and his Telegram and then re-uploading it, which for people who know and do the thing that I do, which is finding these people, you do that due to the fact that you're trying to clear your cache. That's why you're doing it. What do you think he's doing with WhatsApp? Her response is, honestly, I feel like he's talking to other women on there to hide them. He's moved everyone to Snap, as by his Facebook messages and Insta messages. Liliana is a worry. Who's that? A 19-year-old he knows, old friend. But clearly they had something. Another 19-year-old? Because didn't he date one before? Just so we all know, Marcel is 35 years of age. Another 19-year-old? And like, I really don't do the age shame thing because I've always dated older. But if it's like a kink thing, or he'll only date young. Raina says, a 19-year-old he knows, old friend, but clearly on Insta they had something. Everyone process that for a moment. A 19-year-old he knows, old friend. Old friend. 35-year-old, old friends with a 19-year-old. But clearly on Insta they had something. The friend says another 19-year-old because he dated one before. Yeah, these two. Then she sends the screenshots of the conversations and she shares multiple from 2004, 2003. And then Raina shares this interesting insight. But Marcel did talk to her, and the her is the 19-year-old, did talk to her on Facebook until Marcel found out I accidentally seen a message that she sent through young son's iPad. What does this mean? Marcel was using his son's iPad to talk to teens behind Raina's back. Why would you use a child's iPad to talk to other children? And to quote Raina, and then he had her start talking on Snap instead. So he would use his kids' Facebook to find young children and then flip them over to Snap and WhatsApp. That's one of the DMs of the 18-year-old. This is the DM of the 19-year-old who they're old friends with. Liliana says, I deleted Snap. Why? Too much school drama. Too much school drama. Actually, give me 10 seconds.
We did get some information that they are streaming this on his Discord. That's fine. Stream away. Yeah, so we do realize that it does glitch when Irish goes and gets another screenshot. That's fine. I would just hope that it's not glitching all the way through. We want to make sure we get all of this information out there. So I will, in a little, I will occasionally ask if it's glitching. I'll ask if it's a glitch or no glitch situation when somebody messages me. So right now,
Did you
we're
say
still at
there?
a no glitch. They said we got information. I got information that they are streaming it on his Discord.
I don't think we could really know that for sure. I to speculate in any way may or hang on a second. Hang on. I got to drop. There's something weird happening.
Okay, I'll bring you right back up. Yeah, that's why I didn't say they are. They definitely. I just said I got information on that. I don't know. I mean, how on earth can we ever know if they are actually streaming on there? I can't say, but I'm just passing on information that that was provided to me. So I just I cannot say. I'm just again passing on the information that it is streaming on his Discord. So let's see. Irish is loading in. Just give us. There we go.
Okay, now I can hear you.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, great. So, I appreciate you guys saying that he's streaming and all that, but I really think that until we're able to verify, oh, wait, you mean this call that's happening right now? With all these people? These people? You mean these people who are currently having a Discord call in order to, I don't know, help protect this Petritio?
Now, if y'all want to take a
These
screenshot
people
of the,
all here?
yeah, if you want to take a screenshot right here, so you can have the names of those people on Discord, you're more than welcome to.
Gosh, it's like, I don't know, I've been in your server for the past 2 days. Marcel. You fucking moron. Back to the show. So let's continue going through these screenshots. And for Marcel's friends who are reporting this right now, I will find every single one of you and I will out every single one of you as supporting this Petritio. Because you're claiming these are faked? Why don't you come and ask me? I'm literally showing you Marcel's DMs on Facebook with these girls. Where the girl is saying, I deleted Snapchat, too much school drama already. And I was tired of it. Then says, you should definitely send me naughty texts on here though, daddy. Daddy. Raina then says, all that time he's been telling me he hasn't been schmasturbating. When he has all this time, he just found out a better way to hide it from me and even admitted it on our ride home that he still does. It slipped in our last convo. When talking about coming in the sink, he went, I come in the bathtub. Well, I used to come in the bathtub. This is weird. This seems irrelevant. Why would I be bringing this up? Oh, is it because he's likely going into the bathroom to masturbate to the children? And he doesn't want Raina to see? Could that possibly be why I'm bringing it up? Raina says, like, bro, this tells me you have porn problems, for real. Marcel has an addiction. He won't admit it, but he does every chance he gets. He's looking at porn. Because he uses the bathroom a hell of a lot more, and that could also be for texting on WhatsApp. Because it's in his most recently used apps every time he's off the phone in the bathroom. Meaning he's going into the bathroom and accessing WhatsApp and Telegram, schmasturbating, and coming back out again. Now, what is frequent? I don't know, 9 times a day? 9 times a day? I'd say that's an addiction. She says, I rarely get time with him because he's either at work or in the bathroom. Then says, like, I was watching Invincible with him this weekend, and Monster Girl was talking. And she's an adult, but reverse ages, so she looks 7. I was getting sick hearing the voice, because I just kept seeing his search history in my head. Now, let's just pause for a moment, because I understand that in the Discord server, they're claiming that this is all faked, right? They're claiming that these screenshots are not real. They're claiming that all of this is nonsense, right? That's what they're saying in the Discord, right? Everybody record this right now. Is everybody recording? Hey, Raina, this is you, right, Raina? This is you pleading with me not to do this, right, Raina? Because you were going to get Marcel in here, right? But this is you pleading with me. Irish, no! Irish, no! Many people have tried to get Marcel. Remember I kept saying get Marcel in here? Many people have. Nobody can get a hold of him, Irish, and if you are worried, I'm worried. I don't know what happened. He said he would be here to me and everyone else. I will do anything. Please, I cannot have a medical episode. Here you offer me money. That's weird. If these are fake, someone get that screenshot. I'm saying, she says, I'll make sure they don't. You have my word. Irish, please no. They are pissed about Noah right now. I could get them on him easy. What she was trying to do was bargain with me that if I don't expose Marcel, that she will have all of the people in her Discord server go after Noah if I protect Marcel. I said, can you please get Marcel here? She says, I'm trying. Like, I will admit I am scared of you, Irish. I am home alone with anxiety, damn near needing to go to the hospital. But I have Marcel's son, so I can't, Irish. How much money would you need? I'm continuing to try to get a hold of him, but is there anything else I could do while I work on getting him in here? I don't want money. Can he join? Yes or no? I know, but I'm trying anything. He should be able to, but I can't get him to answer. Nobody else can. Irish, please. I'm trying everything I can. He isn't here. Not my issue. And I'm like, I don't believe you're calling him. But is that faked? Isn't that you calling him? What exactly is the allegation that I'm faking? You sent me this half an hour ago.
What's stopping him from coming in now?
Yeah. These are fake, right? If these are fake, why are you saying this to me, Raina? I will lose my entire life over this. Please. I will be in your debt. I don't mind, but please, I'll never speak ill on your name as long as I can breathe. Marcel should be, meaning, just so for context, I said, have Marcel here. And I made her think that I wouldn't expose him if he showed up, but obviously I was going to expose him anyway. She says, I will lose my entire life. Please, I will be in your debt. I don't mind, but please, I'll never speak ill on your name again as long as I breathe. He should be told he will show. I even told me he would be in our phone call. I don't know where he is. Irish, please, I'm freaking out. He isn't replying to me. I think his phone is dead. Irish, is there anything I do to get you to please not? Payment. Having him go live himself on his platform and say it in front of everyone. Have him make a video. Something. I didn't expect him to run his phone dead. I'm spamming his phone. Why were you freaking out, Raina? If this is all fake, Raina, why are you... This seems a little exaggerated if it's fake. He should be there. He told me he will be there. He is 40 feet in the air right now and being monitored with his phone, but said he will try to get good service and join. If it could be later, that would be perfect. I know, whatever. Let me just grab, hang on. Wait. Oh, ready? Everyone, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Screenshot. Let's do that again. Everyone smile for the camera. Screenshot. Everyone smile for the camera. 1, 2, 3. Screenshot. And one more for good measure. Screenshot. Now, this may not be Reina. So to everyone in Reina's Discord, is that her Discord name? Let's do this live, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, is that Reina? This seems to be Discord I'm in right now. Is that Reina? Is that what Reina's profile says? Because why is Reina desperately messaging me right now? To stop me from doing what I was going to be doing. I don't know. Must be a quinky dink. You're busted, babe. Deal with it. Next. So, back to the screenshots. Guys, don't send me a damn penny. Send it only to Ernesto in order to keep the live going. But I want to be clear again. Bobby is working with a P3DO. Bobby is. Bobby has been working with a P3DO this entire time to schmucks me, to slander me, to make me look bad. Bobby seems to have a lot of a P3DO friends. Didn't he have one from the military? All right, let me find out where we were. There we go. All right, so where was the next one? Okay, great. So now we're talking about the 19-year-olds again.
Yeah, that. Hold on, guys. Iris didn't hear it. That jingle was. You did? You heard the jingle?
Yeah, I was just ignoring it.
Oh no, yeah, that was just that puzzle thing that I had to do. That was it. They just wanted to make sure that this was actually live.
Got it. Yeah. So this is Reina, who's claiming that these screenshots are faked. Gosh, Reina, why are you And to everyone in Marcel's Discord where this is being streamed, if Reina just lied to you about these being faked, why are you believing anything out of Reina or Marcel's mouth? Why? Explain that to me. I'm scratching my head. Oh, by the way, to everyone in Marcel's Discord, if this is fake, why am I filing a police report tomorrow? I'll go live so you can see me file the police report. Why am I going to be attesting in my email? Because I never, unlike Bobby, when Bobby makes a report, he turns off his live so nobody can see if the police showed up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call the cops and then I email them so they have a written statement so they can't get confused about what I say. Why is it when I send that written statement and take a screenshot and show it tomorrow, why is that statement going to say, these are all DMs that I know to be true? Are you saying I'm lying to the cops? Okay, make that stick. So Reina then says, so this is the third 19-year-old that Marcel is talking to? The friend says, but now all these young girls? And then Reina says, he made a compliment yesterday about how small Biddles are adorable. And I wanted to throw up right then or there. By the way, Reina, I don't know how old Reina is. Reina looks like she's 14. To anyone who knows Reina is about 105 pounds, maybe, and looks like she's 14 years of age. Reina says, oop, she's 18. Now, what she's talking about is on this point, there's a live taking place. Marcel's talking to a girl on the live, and Marcel invited her to join the Discord. Then, as it says here, oop, she's 18. Marcel immediately told me, never mind on the Discord invite, meaning they were going to invite this 18-year-old to join. But there's apparently standards for the Discord, so that's good. The friend says, which one? They identify the 18-year-old as Carlin. I don't know what that is. Oh, and then says the one he said was going to check their Insta. Cool, he's got standards. Except he doesn't have standards. Here, later on, Reina's complaining about the fact that they need to have better standards for who joins the box, meaning TikTok. The friend says absolutely that, and don't call random new people regulars. And Reina says, especially because Marcel changed his mind on letting that 18-year-old into the server. That's weird. Reina continues, yeah, friend says, but now I'm kind of confused. Are you concerned about the young girls or just about Korn in general? Reina, his live-in partner, says, I'm concerned with the young girls, the lying, and the WhatsApp. The friend says, okay, so the jailbait searched the young girls on IG and the WhatsApp, right? Reina says, yes. Well, leave out the girls on Insta. Why? Reina says, because I'm not getting caught having internal access to his Instagram. Which means Reina must have access to his Instagram, and there must be incriminating information on the Instagram that she's trying to hide, which I think was interesting. Actually, can everyone right now put in the comments Telegram and Instagram? Everyone in the comments, because I want you to remember that. Telegram she doesn't have access to. Instagram she's hiding access to. Next screenshot. Reina says, going all right. I hope I got our convo on recording. The friend says, oh, what happened? Reina says, I brought up Echo's call out and told Marcel about what Echo said about most people that Marcel talks to are not actually 18 or 19 years of age. And Marcel told me that Marcel thinks it's okay to talk to minors online as long as there isn't anything shady going on. And I was like, nah, wait, because an adult has nothing in common with a 14, 15, or 16-year-old. What she's making clear is that Marcel is saying that, I assume, is talking to 14, 15, and 16-year-olds, but is simply stating, it's above board, sweetheart. What's wrong? I'm not one of those bad guys like Irish and Bobby. Reina then says, then he got on the topic of his buddy at work, talking about if the police took his phone to search it. And he went, I'm not scared. I got nothing incriminating to hide. I want them to search my phone. And so I wanted to out it in that moment and be like, Marcel, so you really want them to find your Google searches for jailbait? The friend says you should have. Reina says, I got too scared, LOL. It would have made his face go pale. She gives an update. This is February 19th. Updating this friend on some weird changes to their love life. Marcel did something new during sex. Marcel started calling me little girl instead of baby girl. Marcel called me little girl instead of baby girl. Gosh, if only we had context to know why that would be. Now, look, to those who are saying that I fake screenshots, to those of you who are saying that, this may be not real, to those of you who are saying, do you not know me? That your DM, Marcel? Marcel, is that your private messages with your partner that I have access to? Marcel, does this look familiar, buddy boo? How does it make you feel to know I have all your messages, all your personal DMs? And here is Reina confronting Marcel about the Google images and the searches. And Marcel's response is, Daddy's response is, Reina, I don't remember Googling those images. That must be off Pinterest. Reina says, I guess I didn't look too into detail, but I know if it's on Google Images and the link goes to Pinterest, it will show the link rather than Google Image. Daddy Marcel says, or actual Google searches? Raina says, it was 3 different places. It looks like from, and what I can tell. I'm not upset at you, baby, or anything. I just got concerned. Marcel, and unfortunately you can't see this at the bottom. Marcel, by the way, Marcel, this is called culpability here. This is you showing your awareness of the illegality. Marcel Daddy responds, jailbait would definitely put my ass on a watch list. That is Marcel stating that he knows him Google searching the word jailbait is illegal, meaning what he's looking for is illegal. But we know he did it. So thank you, Marcel, for pointing out that you are aware that it is in fact illegal for you to try to go for those images. Now, this is Raina sharing a screenshot of Marcel's Instagram and is pointing out that's a wild account to follow. Now, guys, I did my best to redact anything that could direct anyone to these sites. To anyone who knows anything about these things, there are websites on Instagram that people go onto in order to find, can anyone in the comments guess? Telegram rooms to join where you're freely able to exchange child porn because of the end-to-end encryption that Telegram offers. Now I'm going to show this image lightning fast. Everybody look. Everybody look. But the profile she put up was that. Okay? That's what it linked to. What looks to be very, 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 very young people. And what I mean by that is it's either MINORs or very clearly 18-year-olds meant to look like MINORs. And this was Raina notifying the friend about that Instagram thing. Now, to everyone in the server, I get it. I get that I don't have everything. I get that I don't have access to everything and I'm not able to show you everything. But I'm after showing you the DMs of Raina being concerned. I've showed you the DMs of Marcel claiming that he didn't search for the terms that we know he searched for. I don't know at this point what else I could possibly show you that would help convince you. But how about his fucking Instagram account? That's you, right, Marcel? Do I have access to your Instagram account? Yeah, boy. Do I have access to all of the saved images? And I'm going to back off so people can't see the images very closely. Do I have access to all of the saved images of all the children that you saved? Yeah, boy. To people in Marcel's Discord, did I fake a video? Did I? That's impressive, even for me. Is that me scrolling through Marcel's Instagram? Showing all the young girls that he's following? But hey, you know what? It may just be something I faked in the 2.5-day period I had to investigate this. Alternatively, I could actually be telling the truth and properly exposing that Marcel, Bobby's friend, is a Petridio. But rather than go through the video, I have some prearranged slides to make this easier. I love that this was his opening screen. Bobby screen. That's you, bro. That's your account. See where it says edit profile? That's your account, bro. That's me inside your account. How inside? I don't know. Settings access, bro. And I found your secret little folder of saved little children, you weirdo. You creep. You Petritio. Now, I want to be super, super clear. As I go through these images, they are blurred in order to, protect the people in the images, and where I thought there could be information in an image that could direct someone to it, or where I thought an image was graphic, or where I thought an image, I went out of my way to identify which images to show, which ones not to show. I'm not perfect. I understand that. I'm going to do my best. And if people are upset about it, I don't know what to do, but I don't know how people take me seriously. Like, people in his Discord right now are saying this is all fake. So I want the mods right now to be repeatedly spamming Marcel. Marcel Priestley _Sage. Spamming Marcel. Marcel Priestley _Sage. A Priestley _Sage 666 is being exposed as Bobby's Petritio friend. I think that's fair. They've exchanged a number of DMs. They're working on together to schmox me. I feel like it's fair to say, actually, I'll write it one time so everyone sees what it should look like. Go ahead.
Didn't
Vanessa.
they say they were on a call together?
Oh, they were. Wait, who?
Bobby and Marcel. Can't wait to talk to you. I remember that.
Oh, so they wore. It's really confusing the different mediums they were on. They were certainly exchanging voice messages, but yeah, do I think they were on different mediums? 100,000%. I think they were talking either on WhatsApp or something else. Let me write this down.
I think Wasabi.
Okay, so I don't know if this is going to get flagged. Okay, so right there. If people can just keep repeating that, and let me put this in the live chat and purgatory.
Guys, while he's doing that, if we can get this, we can get the likes up to, there it is. They're at 124,000 on my end right here. If we can get that to 135K, keep just tapping that screen, liking the live. Let's keep this live up and running. I reset the goal there. Again, just the roses, because again, this is not about the money for me. Just the roses. Just drop one rose for each one of you. It is fine. We just want to make sure it protects the live. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, Odin, I got you, buddy. And so I'm going to flip through these images quickly. Now, look, in order for me to show that these were... Look, in order to show that, I'd have to reveal MINORs, right? So I'm in a bind. However, the few images I'm going to stop on are either celebrities who are children, models who are children, or a couple of exceptions, which I'll explain. Otherwise, I'm not showing MINORs where I feel like, do you know what I mean? Like they're not in a public eye in any way. And so one of the things I did do is I picked screenshots where you're going to see a lot of Kate and Ashley Olsen, the Olsen twins. And he likes the Olsen twins, especially when they're aged between 14 and 17. That's most of the saves he has. And so to just sort of communicate the ages, I put in screenshots where they are and when they're young so that you all could know, because you all know who the Olsen twins are. And I'm also going to stop at a couple of select images, but please trust that I've done my best to figure out why. So I'm going to go one by one. All right. Go. Everyone start doing trigger warnings. But you can get a sense of what's going on. Everyone do trigger warnings in the comments. He's very clearly got something for children, for feet. Oh, so this one real quick. Just as an example, there's the Olsen twins. And that specific image, I went out of my way to confirm the exact date that that image was taken. Notice he keeps saving the same image of the Olsen twins from when they were children over and over again. That's 3 times, 3 different variations. Which makes sense because the Olsen twins are exactly the body type he's into. And again, just as some exemplars, I don't know if it's Mary Kate or Ashley, but there she is as a 14-year-old. How do I know? Because that's the exact same bandana. It was from the show. The show aired those dates, and that very specific image was taken in the year 2000, at which point she was 14. 14 or 13, just to be clear. Here's them at their oldest, which was 17. How do I know they're 17? Because it's from New York Minute, which was filmed in location in the summer of 2003, 2 months after they turned 17. Now, let me say this. Let's look into a little bit more specificity as what's going on. Question number 1, is it possible he's just interested in daddy corn? Well, there's some evidence of that. Some of the people he followed were 18, such as the person in the top left, red. Those are 18-year-olds. They just simply act as though they're much younger. Those people, I found their actual post. And they, who they're following, is this person right here. And when you go to what content they create, they do daddy content. So he might just have a thing for daddy stuff. All right, possibly. But if that's the case, why is he following so many 13-year-old Russian models? And again, for people who are in the know on this kind of stuff, Russia is one of the foremost places that put out child porn. And one of their ways of doing it is operating websites that show 13, 14-year-old girls who are marketed as models, but they're lures for child porn Telegram websites. How do I know? Let's look at one example, one of many examples. The image in the bottom right-hand corner, notice Marcel's face in the bottom right-hand corner, is this person. Took me a bit of time to find that specific image, but I found it. And not only did I find it, I found her name. And I'm hiding the rest of the name, but Dasha. And then I found her Instagram. Notice that her Instagram is account run by mom. Why is the account run by mom? Good question. Because she's 13 years of age. Russian child model, 13 years of age. She was 12 when he saved the image. This is her celebrating her 13th birthday a few weeks ago. How do I know? Because her mom said she's 13 when asked how old is she. And because when you look for her on Instagram, The Russian websites that she's on also advertise that she's 13. The bigger question I have is, boys and girls, what was the word I said for you all to save? Telegram. Why are you following so many websites that are very clearly child porn Russian websites? Marcel, just question. Because again, people who look into this stuff all the time, we know. Russia creates these child model websites. They add a Telegram, and the Telegram is where you actually exchange material. There's the image in the right-hand side. I found the actual. When you go, he's following these individuals. When you click on their profiles, look at that link up there. T.me. Oh, look, brings you to Telegram. Gosh, who could have guessed that? Telegram, isn't that the thing that Raina was desperate to get access to because he keeps going into the bathroom to masturbate to WhatsApp and Telegram 9 times a day? Gosh, if only we were able to figure out why that may be. Could it be it's because of images like this that you're masturbating to? Maybe, possibly. But then again, I've only shown Marcel that I have access to your Instagram. But it's not like I can't go to the website and see who's following. Ain't that your account, bro? That is you, right, Marcel? Or are you going to go run now and unfollow that account? You don't think I screen recorded it? Because that looks like you. Now, could it be that he's made some mistakes, maybe? Could it be that he's actually only interested in 18-year-olds who look younger? The leading evidence that that is the case is this one image where he is clearly following an 18-year-old girl who just turned 18. How long were you following them, Marcel? If they had just turned 18, how long were you following them? So it's possible. I'll give it to you. It could be that you're only interested in 18-year-olds that look young. But then you wouldn't be following the 14-year-old who's got the balloons that say she's 14. Right, Marcel? Because whereas this image is an 18-year-old girl celebrating her birthday, plausible deniability, that looks like a 14-year-old celebrating their 14th birthday. But I did think maybe I'm wrong, and I thought maybe it's a spoof. I thought maybe it's a mistake that it's an adult woman. And when I looked into it, the account was run by an adult woman. It was. The account was run by an adult woman. The problem is the person on the account was her fucking 14-year-old child. So yeah, it's the account of an adult, but you saved her child's image. Because that's the image, right, bro? There she is, happy 14th princess. Now, as a result, just to like bring everyone back for a moment, people in the comments were saying, why is Bobby there? Why is Bobby being brought into this? Why is Bobby to blame for this? I can't be more clear. Bobby had a pedo friend in the military, and now he's got a pedo friend on TikTok. Ernesto, how many pedo friends do you have? I'm going to take a guess it's none.
Zero.
Zero. Shocker. I would say one is too many. Bobby, you had a pedo friend in the military, and you've got a pedo friend on TikTok, and you and your pedo friend are trying to frame me as the pedo? Weird. So for anyone in here saying, why is Bobby in trouble? This is Bobby coordinating with his pedo buddy, Marcel, to try to schmucks me, to intimidate me, and to try to get me to back away from Bobby. Bitch, you're number 50 on the list of people I've done this to. Now, Sage, at Bobby's beckoning, decided today to try to dox me. This is Sage reporting back to Bobby. This is Sage showing a post that he posted on his own profile saying, Bobby, I hope that I helped you a little bit. I'm going to try to get some rest. You should too, man. Tomorrow's going to be a very long day. I can feel it. Now, he posted this on his profile. That's the pedo's profile right there, where he's trying to frame me as a petri idiot. Priestley Sage 666. His name is Marcel. Everyone take that screenshot because they think they can intimidate me by trying to dox me. Bro, get in line. And so they were trying to stop me from going live today to expose them. And all the time, they've been coordinating. This is Raina coordinating with Bobby and his wife. This is Raina, the pedo protector, talking to Bobby's girlfriend, giving her directions. Hey, Bobby's girlfriend, can you please ask Bobby to pull up the Irish Discord message? You know, the one that your pedophile boyfriend, Marcel, had sent her. So Marcel, the pedo, and his girlfriend, the pedo protector, are working with Bobby and his girlfriend to try to frame me as a petri and to schmucks me. Adorable. Now, Bobby says that I go around threatening him, which is again adorable. So this is not a threat. I just want to play out a hypothetical. From what I recall, Bobby said that he was forced to report Mac to her job in order to get her fired because Mac was associated with someone that Bobby believed was a petri. Had no evidence of it. But because Bobby and Marcel have been working to frame me as a petri, they then used that to create an excuse to try to get Mac fired in order to intimidate her. This is a hypothetical, and I'm just pointing out how hypocritical they are. By Bobby's own logic, knowing that Marcel is a petri, knowing that Marcel and the pedo protector girlfriend are working with Bobby's girlfriend, are in direct communication with these two, knowing that Bobby's girlfriend works in a hospital with children, by Bobby's logic, I'm under an ethical and or legal obligation to contact his wife's work to notify them that his wife or his fiance or his girlfriend has direct communications with a petri, and that's a problem because she has access to children. Now, Bobby, I'm not going to do that because while you go around preaching, say something if you see something, I don't try to waste the cops' time. And I don't try to get people fired. I try to hold people accountable, you bitch. But think it's a little ironic. That's all I'm going to say. Now, the last thing I'm going to finish on is this person. Can you bring up the schizo? So Marcel is protected by an account called Schizo, also called the Reddit Snark Reporter. And on Reddit, they go by Jolly 4000. This is a person, if you look at the screenshot on the left, they do Reddit and they do TikTok posts where they wear an anonymous mask in order to hide who they are, but we know who they are. Hi, Ashley. Raina gave you up. Raina told us, Ashley, witchy, that you and Marcel are running the Schizo account and that Damon and Rue know all about it. So I want it known moving forward. Schizo, Jolly 400, Reddit Snark Reporter are run by a pedophile and his protecting friend, Ashley Witchy. And Witchy, I understand that you spent today trying to intimidate me and scare me away. Do you know who the fuck I am? Do you know what the fuck I can do, Witchy? You're a fucking ignorant, nobody loser on this app who probably can type 40 words a fucking hour. You're a moron. You're a failure in life, and due to the fact that you were a failure to launch, you spend your life online trying to intimidate people to feel powerful and strong. It makes you feel really good that you can scare people. I'm not scared by you, but you should be scared by me. Because if I was able to find out that Marcel, a.k.a. Priestley_Sage 666, a.k.a. Bobby the Bitch's pedo friend, if I was able to find out that he was a pedo in no less than 2 days, Witchy, what the fuck do you think I'm going to find out about you? The fuck do you think I'm going to find out about you? So everyone take this screenshot right now so that if you ever see this up here again, Schizo, the Reddit Snark Reporter, that is Marcel and Witchy working together in order to protect pedophiles. Now, the final thing I'm going to end on, and this is why we're such a good team. Odin, I love you. Does everyone remember we were notified that they're in a Discord right now claiming that I'm lying? Does everyone remember that?
I do.
These guys. Go ahead.
I said I remember.
Art, different Rue. Art, different Rue. Look at the spelling. So these guys are all in their Discord saying that these are lying. These are faked DMs. These can't be real. What's going on? Is this you, Marcel? Messaging my partner against crime, Odin? Where you're freaking out right now, Marcel, saying, let's read this together. Let's start from the top. Wait, what? Those are your personal DMs, though? Marcel says, yes. Odin says, how would he have that? And why would he need fake screenshots? Marcel says, I don't know. I'm more concerned with how they got my actual DMs. Boom, bitch! Get out the way. So to everyone in the pedophiles Discord who claim they faked these screenshots, that's your cult leader pedophile friend admitting it's his actual DMs, bro. Odin, I love you. Ernesto, you're amazing. To everyone else in here, I bid you adieu. It's been fun. My call-outs are done. I'm only going to go after people who I've previously gone after because I ain't doing this shit anymore. I'm going to drop and I'm going to go have a debrief. Or should we let people up? Or what do you want to do, Ernesto? You know what? In the comments, I don't know what emoji people use, whether it be flowers or something, but I want everyone to understand. I don't want to name people because of the fact that it could put them in jeopardy, but obviously Odin and Ernesto are here. There are so many people who help out with all of this shit. It is impossible to get it done without all the people who are happy helping for nothing. They do it because they know these people are dangerous. They do it because they know this matters. Can you give flowers or thank yous or we see you or something in the comments so that they know that all their silent help is appreciated and that it is, I don't know, being seen? Because you guys think I'm doing all this shit. I'm not. It's a whole community of people who've been doing this.
I would say, Irish, what we can do is, if people do want to come up, is end this one to preserve everything and then come right back. I can restart.
Let's do that.
With the debrief background, if you guys want to come back. So if you're not following me yet, go ahead and hit that follow, and I will restart. Give me about 5 minutes so I can use the restroom, grab something to drink, and I will be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and again, take a screenshot of these people on the left. Make these people's live hell. And if anyone needs to message me again on Discord, Irish and NYC. On Discord, Irish and NYC, because even though I don't want to do the call-out lives anymore, I'm still going to be helping people. So if you need to reach out for anything at all, feel free to reach out.